Hey, what's up? Scott Balkum here with Imagination Creation Films, and today we're doing a practical approach to taking a scenic shot using the Kessler Shuttle Dolly. So I wanted to do something a little different, and this is something that I as a filmmaker wish that other teachers would have done, and that is go through the entire mindset of a shot to determine why you want this shot. What's your method of thinking? Why would you set up this? Why use a shuttle dolly? Why not use a tripod? Why go handheld? How do you do this? That's what I wanted to go through today. In fairness, I did pre-scout this like 5 minutes ago, and I will go through the whole process with you. I'll take you along, but what we need to do today is we need to capture the grandeur of redwoods in the redwood forest in California. But how do you do that? How do you show just how big they are? Well, you can't use a tight lens. You can't use a long lens. You got to use a very, very wide lens. And I'm going to start with the 20. And then I'm probably going to end up on the 14. And the reason being is these things are just too big. All right, so I am parked right over here on the side of the road, and I'm in California redwoods. And I mean, these are them behind me. You can't really get an idea just how giant they are unless I'm like standing next to them. Wait for this motorcycle to pass. But yeah, this is the bark. And I mean, the tree goes all that way, and I mean, it's huge, and you need to be able to show the size of this tree somehow, some way. And that, my friends, is not easy to do, and I don't know that I'm going to pull it off today, but I'm sure as hell going to try. So what I'm looking for is I wanted a nice motion shot. I wanted to be able to use the shuttle dolly to kind of tell the story over time, kind of hopefully reveal something. So let's take you on where I ended up. So here's my backdrop. As you can see, there's this giant redwood that has fallen. And then another one that has fallen on top of it. You've got all these redwoods back behind it, including some really, really large ones, right? Like that guy right there. So let's cruise down the trail here. And unfortunately, there's no easy way to do this. You're going to have to pack all this stuff in, pack it all out. And, you know, honestly, most of the time I use the Cineslider because I can just stick it all on one thing and just carry the camera and the Cineslider. The shuttle dolly, you're gonna have to pack a bunch of stuff, but I can get 8 feet or more out of the shuttle dolly. So I first was looking at stepping over these giant I was first looking right here as maybe going across the top of this log and then through and kind of revealing up as I went. The problem with this was, number one, that log is so big, it's 8 feet in diameter. So the entire 8 feet track would not help. I wouldn't get through much. Then as I would reveal on the other side, I wouldn't be able to peer out because that giant log up there is actually sticking out even further. So that shot wasn't going to work, but I really wanted either to go across this big log or run alongside of it. So I looked a couple other angles. Here you've got the road. That's not good. You actually got 101 on that side over there. So I continued to hike. I mean, this is gnarly. Look at this. This is really cool. But that doesn't capture the size. That doesn't really show just how big these things are. So then I looked at, and I went through all in there. I just couldn't come up with a shot. So we're going to pass through these logs just again to see how large they are. I'm barely ducking. cruising through the trail here. And didn't like this. Kept walking. And kind of came to here. Now, what is so special about right here? Well, not a whole lot, other than I can tell a few different stories with some moves. One of them being, I can, and I'll try to mimic it with this. Granted, this is not very wide. So I can move like this. You get a sense of movement. I've only moved 3 feet. So I can start here, bring in this big log above, and then pan up, all while moving. So this will be the move. Like that. I think that will tell the story. I just don't know. You don't know until you try. I mean, there are all kinds of options back here, but I think this one allows for a reveal as it goes up. And then I'll have the sun in the background, which is interesting too, because the sun kind of disappears around here. These trees are so big that they block out most of the sun. What I'm going to do now is load up this gear, take it back there, and then I'll pick you back up once I get it all set up. Okay, we are all packed up here, and we got the red on the back. I've made this trip now 3 times. Well, actually, many times, if you count all the times I've taken you with me. And we're just going to trek back here and set up shop. It's always a little bit intimidating when you're by yourself. A, because you got to carry it all yourself. B, there's no one to like watch your stuff as you're moving stuff back and forth. But you just have to trust that people are inherently good, which I do. There's a few bad eggs out there, but I don't hold everybody else accountable to them. Okay, I've got the second shooter plus and the Shuttle Dolly all set up here with the red mounted up. I've got a 20 millimeter on it right now. We're going to see how that plays. It's not looking horrible right now. And so let's just run through the setup here of the second shooter plus on this. So when you first power it up, you're going to see you have a couple options: program move, manual move, turntable, etc., etc. We're going to do a program move, and I want 2 keyframes. So basically I want a point A and a point B. And something to consider when you're doing these shots is you're trying to create parallax. So you wouldn't just slide left, slide right. You might look left and be all the way to the right. And then as you do this, you're creating kind of a parallax effect. I mean, there's no right or wrong way to do it. Any way that suits the purpose is fine, but I try to create a parallax. So we're going to go to the first, we're going to do 2 keyframes, and we're going to set the first one. So hold down the shift key on the second shooter plus and you get twice the speed. And we just hold this down for a seemingly long time. Oh, we've got the sun peeking out. That's nice. That'll provide some nice little glints and some more fun. All right, so there is, right there's the slide. This framing is looking nice, I think, just like that. So we're going to go down here and we're going to set keyframe number 1. Now we're going to slide back. So that's the final destination for the sled. Now we're going to pan this. Oh yeah, look at that. And then we're going to go up a little bit. Yeah, I think the 14 millimeter is really going to shine on this one. We're going to take a shot. So we've just set keyframe number 2. Let me change my... There we go. Now we need to decide what we're going to do. So if you're doing time lapse, you would do time lapse mode. Run once, it just runs it through once. I'm going to loop scrub it. And I do not want it to take 7 minutes. I want it to take like 30 seconds. And even that'll be too long. Let's see how long. 36 is all I get. Pretty sure that is the, oh, yeah. I've got the high torque motor on. The high torque motor makes it much, much slower. I'm probably going to run back and grab the regular speed motor because I want the shot to go off a lot faster than that. All right, I've got the right motor on there, and now we'll run our move. All right, now I want to flip it around because the sun is really cool right now. So I'm gonna flip this around and run it again. So I've run that through about 6-7 times each. Tried it in slow motion. I think I'm better off that way. Doing it at 60 frames a second. It'll just give it a much more majestic feel to it. Got the sun popping out now. I was just kind of glinting that sun a little bit through the redwoods there. That turned out pretty nice. Yeah, you want to see what it did? Let's take a look now. So I think those shots turned out really nice. I was pretty impressed. Well, not impressed. I mean, I'm not impressing myself. I'm just, yeah, you get it. I was happy with the results. So now it's just a question of packing all this stuff back, loading up the van, and moving on to the next location. Like I say, this isn't the most portable solution. So if you have the time or you have the people to get it set up quick, that's awesome. But it is the most powerful of their sliders and such. I will most likely be just taking this stuff and putting it on the Cine slider and using that because it's a little more fast and portable for my runs. But anytime there's something like majestic like this, I'm gonna grab this sucker. So yeah, as always, if you have any questions or comments, do feel free to put those in the comment section down below. I do try to read and respond to each and every one of you. It's just to say thank you. Do follow me on all the social medias at Scott Balkum. And remember to click that subscription button and a little alert bell next to it. That'll let you know whenever I'm uploading a video or whenever I'm live streaming, because you want to know, right? I mean, I'm trying to build this community and I think you'd be a great part of it. As always, I do have a Patreon. If you want to support my endeavors on that, I would greatly appreciate it. I do have a couple of Patreon supporters, and I appreciate each and every one of them. And yeah, as I always like to leave it, don't let your passions center around your life. Let your life center around your passions.